dog meowing?
No dog barking. No, just. So,
Kristin, what about going to Mexico to get some half Puerto Rican, half Dutch dripped in you? They thought about me. It's Danish. It's not Dutch. It's 500 miles apart. Everybody thinks that Denmark somehow means you're Dutch.
Yeah.
No, that makes me Danish.
Yeah.
But they don't get it.
Yeah. Is it Amsterdam that makes you Dutch? Or the Netherlands? The Netherlands is Dutch.
Yeah. Pedro Monte, thanks for $2. Looking at your pic, I was spanking. Yeah. I was jerking off while I was looking at your picture. Yes. No, that's not true. Funeral director, ever try entry of the third input? She already answered that question last time. I think you said yes.
What was it? What does that mean? The anal sex?
Ever, have anal sex?
Sure, of course. It's great. Good.
Well, then this is the perfect. John is so wet right now. Welcome to the in the hotel in Dirty Canoga. That's where I live, Canoga Park. So, Kristin, besides Joe, what other rock guys did you meet?
Oh gosh, I met like dozens of rock stars when I was with Joe. Let me think.
Who was the one that you were most impressed with?
Most impressed with. Let me think.
Is that your knee right there?
So now I'm going blank, but
Jimmy Page.
I never met the guys from Led Zeppelin. Or the Stones.
Right? How was Ringo?
Ringo was so it was probably Ringo. Ringo was one of my favorite people ever. He was just such a lovely human being. And when he entered a room, he just had so much beautiful energy that it just lit up the room. Like it was addictive being around him. He was just this beautiful, light, loving ball of energy that and he treated me so sweetly and kindly. I just adored him.
That's so weird, Kristin, because he always comes across to me as being a little smug. Is that a wrong assessment?
I never saw him like that back when I knew him in 89 and 90 and 91. So I first met him in 89, and then probably the last time I saw him was 93. So in the years that I knew him, he had between 2 and 6 years sober, something like that. He and Barbara, his wife, both were just phenomenal to me.
Barbara Buck, I fell in love with in The Spy Who Loved Me. Oh boy.
Yeah, she's just a lovely, lovely human
being. What a beauty, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I adored her. So who else did I get to meet that I just adored? I mean, Harry Nilsson, I loved meeting him. He was wonderful.
Lime in the coconut and drink it all up.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet, incredibly sweet guy, super warm, just very, very genuine. And whenever I would meet a rock star and they would ask me about me, they'd, instead of just like, basking in I remember hanging out with Jack Nicholson and Harry Dean Stanton a couple of times. And Jack was the kind of guy, like he just kind of barged into Joe's dressing room if he was backstage, which he very often was. Whenever Joe played LA, Jack Nicholson was backstage. And, he would say something funny and everybody would laugh. And then he would sort of command a lot of attention. And then people would follow him into the room and he would sort of hold court. And it was entertaining, right? But never once did Jack ever say, how are you doing? Anything like that. So when I met Harry, and Harry's like, oh, I've heard so much about you. And he was asking me about me. And I'm trying to think of others like that. Who's the guy who did Werewolves of London? Warren Zevon. He was someone I felt was really kind of stuck up. And also Todd Rundgren was another guy that I did. Of all the 50 or so celebrities that I met in the years I was with Joe, those were two that I didn't like, was Todd Rundgren and Warren Zevon. I found them and Don Henley and Glenn Frey. Almost everybody else was super nice. Bonnie Raitt was kind of you're frozen.
Sorry, Kristin. For some reason, my internet just went out.
Oh.
I don't know why, but now I'm using my iPhone. So go ahead. You were saying that.
I was saying I don't know if you guys heard this, of the rock stars I didn't really like. It was Bonnie Raitt was kind of a cunt to me. I think she's a lovely person. She just was a cunt to me that one day. Don Henley and Glenn Frey. I mean, Don was really nice sometimes, but Glenn Frey was always a dick. Warren Zevon and Todd Rundgren. Yeah, those are the ones. I loved Lionel Richie. He couldn't have been sweeter. I mean, I know that's weird. Like, he's not a big rock star, but I adored Lionel Richie.
I'm sorry. Warren Zevon and
Todd Rundgren, I didn't like.
And they were assholes. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which rock star had the biggest hog from Kenneth
Cole? Well, I didn't see a lot of their penises, so let's just stick with Joe.
And Tom DeLuise, did Joe ever fart during coitus with you?
No, but Joe did find farts funny. And in fact, one time he told me if I would ever fart in a crowded elevator with him, he'd give me $100. I never did.
That's awesome.
He had a very juvenile sense of humor sometimes.
Did you ever go to the on the Arch in St. Louis?
Where?
The St. Louis Arch.
Oh, yes, we did.
And you had those little like gondolas that bring you up to the top.
Yeah, I don't think I went up there.
Oh, okay, because it's very, very small. And I once let one rip.
Oh, God.
And then we walked out, and all the people went in. We're like, oh.
That's horrible.
Stuttering John's twin. Thanks for the $5. Kristin, my brother John is hung like a dust bunny. I don't know what that means. You know what that means?
I'm thinking small.
Did you sleep with Harry Dean Stanton or Jack Nicholson?
No.
What's a green screen? It's what's behind me right now. Don't worry about that. Shirley's wife's crystals. You ever been with a guy who pooped in bed? No, that they're trying to say that I did that, which I never did. But have you ever been?
I think the only other ones. Have I been with every race, as in like Black, Mexican, Asian? Yes.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Good for you. I have too. Kristin, I see you read recommendations.
Oh, gosh. I read a bunch of nonfiction. I read a lot of memoir, and I read a lot of books about sexuality and psychology. Let me see if I've read any good ones lately. I've read a bunch of really good memoirs lately, but I can't think of them. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's one called Cam Girl that I liked. It's actually Tyson put it out. It's by our publisher. It was a really good book. If you're interested in what it's like to be a cam girl, it's a really good book. Let me see what else.
What is a cam girl?
A girl who does cam shows, cam work.
Oh, okay. Brother, your sheets are in the wash again. Mom is pissed. You got to stop it. Thank you. You see what I get, Kristin? It's like nonstop with just nonstop ridiculous trolling. It's
pretty juvenile.
Yeah, well, it is pretty. It's totally, and like here I am having a great conversation. You're talking about the coolest fucking topics, and then but I did want to ask you about Joe Walsh. He had a great sense of humor. Like at the end of one of his songs, he goes, "Time for we have a flock of wow-wows." And wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He used to do that all the time. When you live with somebody for 6 years, you hear the same jokes over and over and over again. I mean, he had a bunch of really funny jokes, and I would hear them 1,000 times each. But he was a funny guy.
No. He's definitely. How you doing? Is it cool for friends to out each other others STDs? It's like they're all. Have you ever gotten an STD?
When I was 17 or 18, freshman year of college, I got chlamydia. And it was so funny because I was in the punk scene, right? It was 86, I guess. 85. And so I go to the university clinic, and they diagnosed me with chlamydia. And they call me and they said, okay, so what we'd like to do, they said, don't worry about it. We're going to give you a prescription. But what we'd like to do is get the name and number of all your partners, because we need to call them. Like they do contact tracing, right? Yeah. And I just laughed at this woman and I said, honey, I'm in the punk scene. Like they don't have phone numbers. They're a bunch of skater punks who are couch surfing. Like, I'd had like 3 partners or something. I said, and by the way, because it's a punk scene, I think I'd probably slept with like 2 guys. And I said, if I have it, then everybody has it, because those 2 guys slept with 10 girls each. You slept with 5 guys each. And trust me, and she just kind of goes, she's on the fence. She's like, okay, thank you.
No, and you know what? Like, see, Kristin, that's just how candid you are about it, is how I am. When I was on Stern, Gary Delabate, the producer, he admitted he had chlamydia. I admitted I had genital warts and crabs. I mean, but nobody cared. Like now, like who gives a shit? Like, who cares? I mean, everyone.
It's just the risk you take when you're sexually active. I mean, as I got older, I was a little more careful as far as using protection, but it doesn't protect you from everything. I also did get crabs like a couple years later, and from my DJ. When I was stripping at Sugar's, my DJ, and he was sleeping with a couple of us, so a couple of us got crabs. And
those are the worst, ain't they?
But all of that happened when I was literally in my teens, and nothing.
You actually see him, Kristin, because I was itching, and then my drummer said. I go, I don't know why, but I'm itching around my crotch. And my drummer goes, well, didn't you sleep with this girl? And I go, yeah. He goes, well, Darren did too. And Darren said that, that you gave him crabs. And then I went upstairs and I went to pee and I looked down. I saw a little crab jumping around in my pee. I was like,
That was exactly my reaction. I was like, what the hell is happening? And I looked down and I saw that, and I'd like vaguely heard of crabs, I guess, but I just didn't realize they were actually like little crabs on your skin. It was
and then you had to get that lotion. And then you're like, you put it on yourself. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was like, I mean, I was like 19. I felt so dirty, and I called him up and screamed at him, and he felt so bad. But it turned, and that's how I found out who he was sleeping with at the club, because like at least one other girl had him.
Yep. Mule, thanks for the $2. Kristin, your thoughts on COVID vax injury claims? I don't know what that is.
I think most of them are probably true.
Here's one. See, everyone's loving you, Kristin.
I think the vaccine is the worst thing to happen to the planet possibly ever.
Kristin, you are getting love. Shuley's wife's Crystal's best show in years, John. Great job.
Thanks.
Well, it's because she's so cool. This is the kind of friend I want, who doesn't fucking worry about talking about fucking STDs or fucking anal sex. Who cares? Be an adult. We're fucking adults. Who gives a shit?
I know. I mean, so much of life is boring. Let's talk about real stuff. Let's talk about sex and drugs and then the COVID vaccine, frankly.
And rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was your favorite Joe Walsh song?
Turn to Stone, probably. Never gets old for me. I love that song so much. Yeah. I used to strip to Rocky Mountain Way. I would do that one on stage sometimes. And also, there was an Eagles song that I did, The Long Run. I used to strip to The Long Run.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a guy like try and like, I don't know, like ask you for a knee job or anything? Did you ever do
for a what?
Did you ever get the knee jobs? Because we used to go to Scores because we didn't want to cheat on our wives. They would, the stripper would be naked and she would take her knee and just rub your crotch until you came.
I wouldn't use my knee. Okay, so you want to talk about stripping for a minute? And a lot of this book, Casey Dancer, is about my experience.
Yeah, I'm trying to lead back into that for you.
Yeah. So thank you. So this book talks a lot about my experiences stripping from 39 to 42. And so those years would have been Austin 2006 to 2010. And when I worked the first 10 years that I worked in Austin and then in Vegas in the 90s, there were bouncers and they had strict rules. And if you were in the VIP room, they didn't watch you so closely. And, so you could kind of do some grinding. And then by the time I left Vegas, you could do a lot of grinding. In fact, if you didn't do a lot of grinding, then you probably weren't going to get a lot of dances. But
so it's just like your leg you're rubbing against?
Not just your leg, but like you're just sitting on the guy, whether you're facing him with your legs scraped over the side of the chair or you've got your back to him and you
feel that he's aroused and you're just kind of rubbing against him.
You're just sliding your crotch, swiping your crotch
until he ejaculates.
Until he comes, yeah. And so a lot of guys would come in once all the clubs started, especially during the recession, the clubs were like, if we need the money, we can't afford to be getting guys thrown out of here. So the bouncers just quit paying attention to anything. And when the girls started policing themselves, and you know how that's going to go, not very well. I mean, there was no policing whatsoever. It kind of turned into a little bit of a jack shack, to be honest. But which is one of the reasons I quit. Plus I was 42. It was hard. It was hard on my back. Yeah. So
what does Jack Shack mean?
Well, just a place where a guy gets jerked off. But it's not, the girls didn't use their hands. Well, I guess in the VIP room, some of the girls were, but basically you could do a lap dance in such a way that, the guy's getting turned on. And once he gets an erection, you kind of finish the dance by sitting on him and swiping your crotch, just riding him until he comes in his pants. Happened all the time. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Kristin, now when you consider that, because now, we would get the knee jobs, and I told my ex-wife, even when I was married, she said, what do you guys do at Scores? And I said, well, we don't we get knee jobs. And she's like, what's that? And I said, they would just rub their knee against our crotch until we came. And she's like, oh, I'm fine with that. Now, because she didn't really consider that cheating. Would you consider that cheating?
No, it wouldn't bother me.
No. Brian, Mom, please return my calls. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, because I just revealed my age by talking about how old I was when I was dancing and what year it was. So he's making fun of my age.
Oh, how old are you?
I'm 56. I just turned 56.
I'm 58. We're perfect.
No, I only date younger men.
Is that true?
No, I date men of all ages, but it's funny. I dated almost only older men until I turned 50, and then when I turned 50, I started dating only younger men. And actually, the guy that I'm seeing now is close to me in age.
Stuttering John's twin. This guy spent about $30 so far just on insulting me, but it's okay. Brother, you should invite Kristin over for Thanksgiving. We have enough beefaroni to go around. Kristin, expand on the vax. Curious of your view.
If you want to know my view, I'll tell you where you can find it. If you go to ladycasey.substack.com, you will find a post that I wrote that is very long. It's at least 5,000 words, maybe 10,000 words, all about my views on the vax. And it's very well researched. I spent 3 years researching my Substack posts, and the vaccine injury is the longest and the most well researched. And there's a ton of citations and references and links, hyperlinks that and I'm also going to be posting about 300 scientific studies pretty soon because I've been bookmarking them, and I'm going to make another post. But I have a Substack. It's all about the whole COVID situation. It's got posts on the virus origins, on the failed pandemic policies, from masking to lockdowns to all that, stupid stuff. There are posts on medical ethics and data fraud that were involved. There's a post on censorship and regulatory capture and conflicts of interest having to do with pharmaceutical companies. There's a post on whistleblowers. But the vaccine injury post, again, it's Lady Casey, LadyCasey.substack.com. And go to the vaccine injury post, and it's the entire Substack took me months to write, but the vaccine injury post took me a few weeks, and it's extensive. It's a very long post, but I think that the vaccine is very dangerous. I think certain lots were a lot more dangerous than other lots, but the quality control is non-existent. And these things were way rushed to market. I don't trust the pharmaceutical companies, big pharma whatsoever. I don't know why anybody would. And I think that there's been all kinds of death and injury that's being covered up. And if you read that post, you'll find a lot of evidence to back up everything I'm saying.
Vinny Perillo, look at this, $10. John is the man. Just so you fight with when you beat Crazy Cabby, you're awesome. Did you ever see that, Kristin?
No.
I got into the boxing ring. It was sold out. 4,000 people at Trump's Taj Mahal. And I boxed a 6'2" ex-Army guy, paratrooper, who weighed 260 pounds. I weighed 174, and I was 5'7.5". And Kristin, I beat the guy unanimously. It was like star-studded. And I was a 3-1 underdog in Vegas. But, I just, like I always say this, believe in yourself, work hard, and don't accept no or can't for an answer. And I just saw that Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, he's a friend of mine. He just posted that same thing. That's his mantra as well, and that's mine.
Yeah.
So, if someone challenges me, I am going to work. I trained for 3.5 months.
When did you do that? That's amazing.
Yeah, in 2002. And it's just one of those things where if you give me a challenge, that's why I love when people say to me, John, you're washed up. Oh, you're never going to do anything ever again. It empowers me.
Yeah.
Like they think they're putting me down. No, because it just makes me go, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see about that. Because
Yeah.
they did it to me like 10 years ago after the Tonight Show was over. Then I became executive producer for Stephanie Miller. Then I wrote for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar roast. And then I became the host and a writer for the CBS Pro Football Arm Wrestling Championship. Then I pranked Trump. So, like, whenever they say you're done, you're washed up. All right, Sean. Now let's see what's good. Yeah, you'll see how done I am. You know what I mean? I get that.
I know exactly what you mean. I think mindset is everything, and everything you're saying is so true. The older you get, the more you realize how much your mindset is really controlling how successful you are in life. Because I was given a ton of incredible gifts. You know, I mean, just from my background and my level of intelligence and any kind, and I blew it because I had a really terrible mindset. And then once I got sober and started applying myself and just really believed, the more I believed in myself, the further I got in life. It had a lot less to do with my intelligence or my talent than it did with my mindset, just simply believing in myself. I love watching TV shows about that. I've been watching that Special Forces TV show on, I think it's Fox, where they get a bunch of celebrities. You should go on that.
I know. I actually want to.
Yeah, they get a bunch of celebrities, and like the first season, the girl who won was like the Bachelorette. She was on there with a bunch of Olympic athletes, and she beat them all.
I know. I did Celebrity Fear Factor, and I loved it. You know, it's Dom DeLuise, thanks for $2. Bring Kristin as your date for Casey's house, Rod. I'm not going to Casey's house. How many times were you vaxxed, John? Twice. But I had to be anyway, even though I disagree with you on the whole vaccine, but I had to, because in order to be a teacher, you had to get vaxxed. I mean,
I think the mandates were just completely unconscionable. That it was just really unfortunate, because a lot of people, that's coercion in my mind. Like if you're telling someone they can't work unless they get vaxxed, that you're basically forcing them to get vaxxed.
It's also to protect children, though, too. Michael P, thank you. Stuttering John Kristin vaccine debate. Point, anal point. You Jessel. John, how many COVID vaccines? I already just said this lady's going to get your YouTube channel taken down with these wild conspiracies. No, she's not. She's entitled to her opinion.
Well, thank you. I agree, but I mean, I don't want to get your YouTube.
No, it's not. Don't worry about it.
A lot of people are getting their stuff taken down when they.
It's cancel culture. I've been canceled. You know what I hate about it, Kristin? Like they always say, oh, it's the Democrats who are canceled, or it's Republicans. I'm like, canceling people has been around since the beginning of time. I mean, Jesus was canceled. Okay.
That's a good point.
Funeral director, thanks for the $5. Kristin, opinion on transgenderism. Also, thank you for the opinion. I'll check out your article after work. I love you. You are people. You're going to sell a lot of books from these, because I got a lot. I mean, don't go by, because this is being broadcast to Facebook, Twitter, and then to my Apple and everywhere else. At the end of the day, it'll be thousands of people.
Awesome. Yeah, the transgenderism thing. I mean, I think that, again, once you're over 18, you should be allowed to do anything you want to do. And I completely understand why some people want to live as a different gender than their biological sex. I think that it gets a little bit, the issue comes in when you start allowing people under 18 to be taking medications to stop their puberty, because those medications are actually problematic and have a lot of side effects. So, I mean, if you're under 18, you shouldn't be removing your breasts. You don't know at 15, 16, 17, you don't know if you're ever going to want to breastfeed your child. And sterilizing, teenagers are too young to decide if they want to sterilize themselves for life. I think that's really sad. And we need to just let people get through their sexual development, and then let them do anything they want. Wear a dress.
I'm with you,
all
Kristin.
you want.
Tookie's Nana, thanks for the $2. I got vaxxed. I got leukemia. John, don't get vaxxed. I'm not. This isn't a political vaccine show. I mean, this is Kristin and I freaking, having a great time. Dom DeLuise, thanks for talking. Did you let guys see the spink? Now, good. We're finally back to.
No, not usually. No, I mean I will tell you, when I first started dancing, the thongs, the part that went up between your butt cheeks was like that thick, right? And then it literally became like what amounts to a string. And you do bend over a lot, but I never would pull my thong to the side or anything.
Kristin, I only told you an hour, and you did an hour and a half. Plus, now I'm getting a sign that my phone is dying, so I'm going to be out Well, I'm going to try and see what's going on my internet. I'm going to have to hit reset. So plug anything you want. And please, Kristin, come back again and have a great Thanksgiving. And the next time you're in LA, I'll take you and your boyfriend out to dinner. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds great. We'll take you up on that. I will plug my book. It's very unfortunate right now that Amazon is out of copies. They're supposed to be getting more, but they just ran out right before Christmas, unfortunately. But this is my book about me and Joe. It's Rock Monster: My Life with Joe Walsh by Kristin Casey, and my website.
Send me a signed copy because I'll show it on the.
I will. I'll double check with my assistant. I don't know what happened, but I'll see if it got returned or why that didn't go out. But I promise you, I'll get on that. My website, you can go to. But it's going to leave. If you want to buy the book, I would say right now, go to a bookstore or call your bookstore and ask them to order it for you. Don't go to Amazon because all you're going to find right now is used copies, but maybe in a couple of weeks, Amazon will be restocked. So, but my website for anything about me or my future books is KristinCasey.com, and that's KristinCasey. John, thank you for spelling it right. Everyone spells Kristin with an EN, and it's not, it's IN, but it's just KristinCasey.com.
And I got to tell you, Kristin, you are still one of my favorite guests. I can't believe this hour and a half is already an hour and a half.
I know, me neither. Thank you for having me on again. It was so great to get your note yesterday, like to do this last minute, because I love doing your show.
You know why, Kristin? Like, I knew how great you were, and I knew how great the conversation was, but so many people were like, John, you got to have Kristin back on. She was your best guest. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, you know?
Well, I enjoy your company. I always have. So
yeah, are you going to be out here soon?
I don't have any plans to go there anytime soon. But maybe next year sometime. Yeah, 2024 probably.
All right, I would love to see you. Now I'm going to try and see if I can reset my Wi-Fi. But Kristin, thank you so much for coming on. I love having you, and have a great Thanksgiving. Oh, by the way, I want to ask, like, you know, how do you afford all the? I mean, you know, what do you do on the? I mean, is it just author, or do you have another job?
Oh, no, I work as a coach. I'm a certified sexuality counselor. So I work as a dating and intimacy coach. So I work with men and I help. You can find a lot of information on KristinCasey.com, actually, but I'm a personal coach for men working on sexuality issues.
Because I just watched Meet the Parents, and now I'm watching Meet the Fockers, and Gay Focker's mother is a sexuality coach.
Oh, God, I've never seen it.
Played by Barbara Streisand, and she's a sexuality coach, just like you just said.
I think I think I saw the first one. It was so long ago, I'd forgotten about that. It's
just amazing how the universe all connects, isn't it? How everything
connects. Yep.
All right, Kristin, I love you, baby.
I love you too, sweetie. I'll see you soon.
I'll see you. All right, the great Kristin Casey. I'm going to go try and restart my internet, so hold on a second. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this thing. Fucking. What is it, unplugged again, this motherfucker? No. No lights. Reset. That's all plugged in. That's plugged in. That is not. What the fuck? Fucking irritating, man, is what it is. All right, let's see now. Let's see if this works. Hold on, let me see. Still not working. Still not working this fucking thing. It's amazing. It just like goes out. And it's fucking like the best internet you can have. Ever give a lap dance to a celeb while dancing? That was a good one. Sorry, Don. Sorry, Dicka. And let me just see if this thing starts coming back. Okay, now it should be. All right. Okay. Hi. Okay. That's working. There we go. Fucking hell. The Wi-Fi just went out on its own. I got more problems, I got to tell you. I'm going to buy a new computer. I got to wait till the Friday for the fucking, what is that? Black Friday. El Diablo. Do you tell your guests how you shit in the tub? Never did. Never happened. That statement has been retracted. Never happened. I don't shit in beds. I've bled in beds. There's a very, 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 very different thing. And you got to get your shit together when you're going to say that. Avoid the pun. Oh, there's a lot going on. I'm going to only mention this once. But there's this guy that we all know. Well, could be they. I was informed it might be more than one guy. But you all know him as Muttering Jay. And the truth is, he spent 3 years trashing me nonstop. Now, from what I hear, I never saw it because I blocked him, but he was trashing my children, which I never knew. Now, let me put this in Adam members only now, because now that the guest is off, I could just, so all you idiots could come in and trash me and say whatever you want. So let me do that. Okay. All right. Let me put it. All right. All right. Now all you idiots can come in. Mason in Portland. How are you? How are you, buddy? Muttering Jay is Rick from Rings, Wings, and Rings. Well, here's the thing. Now, I don't fucking like everyone's like, why is he like, why is he letting is he fucking friends with the guy? First of all, I was never I'm not friends with the person I don't know his name. Okay? But if he's gonna find shit like articles that I've lost, if he's gonna find pictures that I've always wanted that I've even been trying to get, like, and I've said this before, me and Artie and Florentine and Modi and Melrose, it's just like, he was doing good. He was exposing Shuley for buying views. He was exposing Shuley for all his numbers fucking in a fucking free fall. So I was like, all right, that's fine. It's their turn now. I took it, so now let them take it. And then, now, I don't recall that he has a beef with Dabblestorian, which I can't even imagine why, because Dabblestorian is such a non-issue. Like, he's a non-entity. He don't even show his face. So, fucking, so he then gets so butthurt that I had Dabblestorian on, so then he goes the other way now. Now he's back to trashing me. Hey, Muttering Jay, I don't give a shit. And this is the last time I'm talking about you. Go ahead. Go ahead. If your goal in life is to make mine miserable, go ahead, but I'm not going to see it. Fucking hell. You got me fired from LAUSD. What more do you want? So because I have Dabblestorian, what are you going to try and do now? Huh? Then I thought it was this guy, Ryan, or this guy, Sean. I had two moderators, Ryan and Sean, and they both were trolls. And I don't talk to either one in a long time. But Sean was the one that when I was doing my show, he was putting my fucking show in kids mode, and I would lose 100, 200. Benny Loco told me, that's the one time I talked to Benny Loco on the phone. She said, John, I know who your moderator is. Call me. So I called her, and she was like, John, it's not YouTube. I know who it is. It's one of your moderators. I go, but who? I only have Nikki and Sean. It can't be Nikki. She doesn't seem the type that would do. She goes, no, it's Sean. He's doing it. And I went, fucking hell. So Sean had my password. I changed my password, and it all goes away. And Sean was dead to me. And I didn't talk to him. I briefly had a conversation because he was begging, saying he didn't do it. I never believed him. And then, I started getting all this shit in the mail and it says it's from this guy, Ryan Sharman. I'm like, all right, this is fucking Sean trolling me again, saying he's Ryan Sharman. So that's it. So I said, Sean, enough of your fucking bullshit. So then there's this Ryan Sharman who I had to send a cease and desist to because he was getting really, really